Hey guys, I'm Kat from Motorhome travel website Wandering Bird. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the very exciting topic of motorhome insurance. But bear with me, because if you need motorhome insurance at the moment, I can get you 1 month free. So keep watching to find out how to do that. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. If you'd like to get more tips and tricks for travelling in the UK and Europe by motorhome or camper, hit subscribe and the little bell to be notified when our next video goes live. Also, very important thing that cropped up this week, if you sawned your motorhome due to a certain worldwide event, please remember to unsawn it before you start travelling in it again. Several people that I know of totally forgot. There is apparently a 3-month backlog with the DVLA at the moment, but you should be able to do a lot of what you want to do online. There are some issues if you have a new motorhome. I know people who are having to wait 2 or even 3 months to get their paperwork back. If you are going to travel to Europe, you absolutely must have your proper legal V5C form. A photocopy or a piece of paper saying that you haven't got it isn't going to cut it. So unfortunately, I know that's going to mess up an awful lot of people's travel plans, and I'm really sorry about that. Not that it's my fault personally, but I'm sorry for you. But yes, it was just something I wanted to make you aware of, because I know some people have been caught out and totally forgot to unsawn their vehicles and didn't realise that they needed the originals to go to Europe. Whilst we're on the subject, I'm getting totally off track here, but we will come back to motorhome insurance, I promise. Whilst we're on the subject, if you want to get your free Europe checklist of what you need to take, what you need to bring and what you need to do before you go, I'll leave a link down here for it and you can grab it absolutely free. Just print it off and tick it all off and you'll know exactly what you need. Right, let's get started. So, motorhome insurance. Going to answer a few very common questions that we get asked. Firstly, do you need a separate motorhome insurance policy? Yes, you do. You need a separate policy for your vehicle, just like you do for any other car or van or anything you've got. So you will need a dedicated motorhome insurance policy. Exactly like with a car, there are 3 levels of cover. You've got third party only, third party fire and theft, saying that very properly. And then also you've got fully comprehensive. So it's up to you what type of motorhome insurance you decide to go for. So, things to consider which will hopefully save you some money on your motorhome insurance. Firstly, European cover. Are you travelling to Europe this year? If you're not, then you don't need to be insured for Europe. Now, many providers give you a small amount of European cover as standard, but there's no point paying extra for 180 days in Europe if you're not planning on going this year. So have a look, and if you don't need it, then maybe you can downgrade your cover and save yourself some money that way. Second thing, security. What security devices do you have fitted? Do you have any extras that your motorhome insurance company will approve and will lower the risk and therefore the cost that you pay on your motorhome? Along those lines as well, if you're keeping your motorhome parked outside your house, is it worth paying for secure storage? We paid about £70 a month for motorhome storage, and this was with a proper locked, gated motorhome storage facility that was approved by our insurer. Not all of them are, so make sure you check that before you start signing any contracts. But if you can find one that's got space, on the south of England they're like gold dust trying to get a motorhome storage space, and you feel that it's worth that amount of money on a monthly basis, then it's definitely worth telling your motorhome insurance provider, and they might be able to reduce the cost for you as well. Also, drive less. We've all been driving a lot less lately, but the lower your yearly mileage is to your insurer, the less they will charge you because you're not driving so much, obviously. However, don't just say you're going to drive 1,000 miles a year and then drive 10,000 miles a year, because they do have ways of checking these things. So make sure that you're being accurate. But if you aren't driving very much, it's worth possibly telling them, and they might be able to reduce your premiums a little bit that way. Fit a reversing camera or a rear parking sensor. Many insurance companies will take these into account and will reduce your premium accordingly. So if you've got one fitted, it's worth telling them, or if not, it might be worth thinking about getting one fitted. Lastly, build up your no claims discounts. Many insurers will take a long car driving history into account. If you've got that, you might be able to use some years against your motorhome, especially if you're a brand new motorhome owner. You can often do that. That's how we started. And then obviously it builds up and builds up each year. Try and find an insurance provider who will give you a discount for each year that you don't have a claim. I think I just said lastly, but I've got one more. So lastly is look at how much excess you are paying. You can reduce your monthly premiums by agreeing to pay a higher excess price, but obviously of course you'll need to pay that higher excess price if you have any claims in the future. So it's a way off and something for you to consider, but that's definitely another way of reducing your premium on a monthly basis. So those were some tips to help you try and reduce the cost of your motorhome insurance. Some other things to consider: what level of cover do you want? Do you want new for old? Can you afford to replace your motorhome or van if something happens to it? And so you just want a low level of cover in case of damage to anybody else's property or person. Breakdown insurance is another one. Now, most insurance providers will include some form of breakdown policy with their insurance policy. However, you do not have to just stick with that breakdown policy. There are many other ways that you can get another breakdown policy, which might... How many times can I say the word policy in one sentence? Jeepers. Shall we start that again? Right, breakdown. Breakdown insurance. You do not have to stick with the level of breakdown insurance provided by your motorhome insurer. You can either talk to them and upgrade it. You can get another deal through something like a bank. Banks are often giving breakdown cover. Now make sure that you have, if you're going to use that it's covered up to the weight that your motorhome is. Many breakdown policies do not go over 3.5 tonnes. If your vehicle is over 3.5 tonnes, you should be very selective about which company and which tier you are on to make sure that you get the adequate cover that you need should you ever need to be towed anywhere. Similarly, with Europe, breakdown cover is exactly the same thing. You can choose the tier. You might be able to do it through your motorhome insurance, and they are often cheaper, but just make sure that you read the fine print and find out exactly what you're getting and what that will be. Many of them are just towed to the nearest garage. But if your motorhome, which is also your home, is in a garage for 2 or 3 days whilst they fix a problem, where are you going to stay? Can you afford to hire a hotel? All of those things are something that you need to take into account. If it's stuck in Europe, how are you going to get it back if it can't be fixed? Do you want repatriation to make sure that it comes back to the UK or wherever you are? And again, similarly, do you need Home Start? If you're going to be travelling an awful lot, you don't need to pay for something like Home Start because you're not going to be at your home. Which brings me nicely to my final point about motorhome insurance, is full-time motorhome living. Now this one is really tough. There are companies that do it. If you go to my website, there is a blog post on all this, and I list a couple of companies that I know are offering full-time motorhome insurance. Obviously, you will pay extra because you are randomly more of a risk if you live in your motorhome than if you have a bricks and mortar house. I don't understand how that works, but it's just something to bear in mind. So, to finish off, if you would like a month free motorhome insurance, there is a link below here to our post about motorhome insurance, and currently, depending on when you're watching this, we can get you a month free on your motorhome insurance. The link is in the post. All you need to do is click it, fill out the appropriate details, or phone them and mention Wandering Bird, and they'll be able to give you a month free off your motorhome insurance. Now, my disclaimer to this is that currently in the month of July 2020, that deal is totally valid, and I believe it will be valid at least until the end of July. If you're watching this August or later, it might still be valid. By all means try it, but I can't guarantee when that deal is going to end. They don't tell me for obvious reasons, so all I'm doing is passing it along to you with the best of faith. Right, I think that is everything for me. I'm keeping it short and sweet because it's insurance, and let's face it, it's not the most exciting topic in the world, but we all need it, so yeah. I hope that was helpful. Again, you can pop to the blog, it's all in written form. There's some other tips and tricks in there. There's also a really good website that we use a lot if you don't want to have to put your details in 5 billion times. There's one website that we recommend that will compare all the motorhome insurance different policies and will give you some options. So that's all on the website. Next week, the video about our trip to the Pyrenees is coming out. Honestly, one of the most incredible places we've been with our motorhome. I wish we'd gone for a little bit longer, but we will definitely be going back. But we went to Cirque de Gavigny, which was just stunning, and then we took our motorhome up the Col de Tourmalet. So those are coming very, very soon. If you want to see them, make sure you're subscribed and the little bell is notified. In the meantime, I think that's it from me. I hope you're all safe and well. I'm looking forward to travelling again. We're coming back to the UK next week, so if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you'll be able to see where we're at, what we're up to, and back in the motorhome again. It's all very exciting. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Chasing every moment, all the good nights. We're always looking out and it's a good